Good evening. This is Dina Shepherd, and I am with Altera Consulting. And we are getting ready to do a marketing series this evening. I wanted to talk to you guys about how you can receive more client referrals. It is a very important topic. It's a topic that all senior care business providers, any business provider in particular, wants to know about, but definitely we're going to focus on senior care businesses, in particular non-medical home care. But these tips can be utilized in various areas of senior care business. So if you have a non-medical home care, skilled home care, hospice, adult daycare, assisted living, you can absolutely utilize some of these tools that I'm going to provide for you guys. So I'm doing a screen share. So if there are any questions that you have at the end of the presentation, definitely post your questions. If you're here watching, let me know, say hello if you have any comments, and definitely share if you feel you received value from this. Let me know, and feel free to share to others. I'm going to go to my main PowerPoint screen, so I'm not going to be able to see your questions, but I will at the end of the program, I will come back through and see what your questions are and be more than happy to answer those for you. Hi, Leslie. Hi, Rena. I'm so glad you guys are here to join me, and let's get started. So again, this topic is how to receive more client referrals. So we're going to go over who your top referral sources are for non-medical home care. Again, this is focused on non-medical home care, but can be utilized for other areas of business as well, with a little modifying. So this is not a inclusive list. This is not exclusive. Let me put it that way. It's not an all comprehensive list. This is just some of the main referral sources that you are going to be able to get most of your referrals from for your non-medical home care. So assisted living facilities are a big one. Independent living facilities are a major ones. And if you've talked to me before, I always refer to them as low-hanging fruit. And they are low-hanging fruit because in independent living, those individuals that live in those facilities and those apartments, they don't receive any care through the community whatsoever. An independent living community is simply a handicap accessible apartment complex. At the most, they usually provide 24-hour service through maybe a maintenance individual or some individual of management. But that individual, that resident at the independent living facility is responsible for their own care. Many of them do not even provide meals. Some of them do, but the care component is not there. So they would need someone to come into their apartments and provide them care. And independent living is typically private pay, and this is not to be mistaken with Medicaid ran low income apartment homes. If you're not a Medicaid provider, then those typical settings are not going to be beneficial to you. So you want to look at the ones that are private pay and that do not have the income restrictions. In assisted living, again, they do provide a measure of care, but their care is limited as to what they can provide. And then also just the cost effectiveness. A lot of communities have level of care charges that they charge. So sometimes it's more expensive for an assisted living resident to go up in a level of care to receive the care that they need. It's more expensive for them to pay for that level of care charge. So you can come in as a home care provider and provide those services. But what makes them low-hanging fruit especially is the simple fact that these individuals are private pay. They are who you want. They're already used to private pay. They're doing private pay at their assisted living or independent living community. So when you come to them, or if there's a need for service, it won't be such a foreign concept because they're already in the mindset and used to paying for private pay. So those are two top referral sources. Then, of course, you have your skilled nursing facilities, also known as inpatient rehab. You have outpatient rehab services, physicians' offices, continuous care retirement communities. They are another great package, and what a CCRC, that's what you're going to commonly hear them be referred as in the industry. A CCRC is simply going to be, many of them have an independent living, assisted living, memory care, and then they have a long-term care portion to their communities, all in one. And again, many of these individuals, those that are not in the long-term care side, they are again private pay. These individuals usually have to go through a measure of financial screening and ability. It's almost like they're buying into living there. They're buying into the rights of living in these communities. So once they are moved into the communities, they have top priority if they need to go from independent living to assisted living or assisted living to memory care or long-term care. They have top priority to move into those locations versus someone coming from the outside and needing those spaces. So again, those individuals, they have already gone through a measure of financial screening and abilities to pay for their care. So those are another great area for you to go and look for referrals. Then you have the Veterans Administration. You have different opportunities to work with veterans. Skilled home health agencies, they are definitely a great referral source. They are a company that when I had my business, I utilized them a lot and developed good partnerships and was able to get referrals from them. So great referral source. Hospital discharge planners, again, are wonderful referral sources for you. And I forgot to add one to the list, but hospice providers are, again, another good top referral source for non-medical home care. So one thing you want to do, you want to set yourself apart from your competition. And a lot of competition, and I experienced this when I was the referral source before I became an entrepreneur. I was a director of resident senior living, and I had individuals that just came in and they were very task time to get to know me as a industry partner, as a professional, or even a little on the personal side. It was just, I'm in, this is the service I provide, do you have anybody for me? And those were the companies that I really didn't remember. I really didn't remember those people. I didn't really work with them. It just was not the person that piqued my interest. Who piqued my interest were those that took the time to get to know me. So when I started my home care business, that was the model that I had in place, that I had my marketing team execute as well. Get to know your referral sources. So one of the major ways you can get to know your referral sources is to consider their daily activities on the job. Everyone is busy. You have things that you're going to be doing as the owner of your company. You're going to be busy. Your leadership team, as you grow and develop a leadership team, they're going to be busy. So consider what they're doing. when you have your business and if you have an office setting, you're going to have people. As people get to know more about your business in the community, you're going to have people just dropping in. They're not going to call and say, hey, can I see you? They're going to drop in and you're going to be in the middle of something. So think about how you would feel if you had someone come to your office as a referral source and they want to get your business and they're not respectful of your time and they're not looking at how they can build a relationship with you. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be aggravated and that's going to be a turnoff for you. And you're more than likely not going to want to do business with that person. So it's the same thing with when you're going out or your marketing team is going out to engage these individuals and get to, hopefully the end game, of course, is to establish a relationship to start business. But you want to take some time and get to know your referral sources. So consider their daily activities on the job. Maybe going in at 9 o'clock in the morning is not the best option. Maybe they have staff meetings, leadership meetings. That's very typical, especially in an assisted living environment. There's usually something we call stand-up. And that's when all the leadership team, we talk for anywhere from 15 minutes, and sometimes it could be a whole 30 minutes, depending on what the needs are of the building. So just be considerate. Learn about your referral sources before you really look to develop that relationship. As you're learning about them, see how you can make their jobs easier. And I have an example here for you guys, just basically stating hospital discharge planners. Those can be some of the most difficult people to track down and to engage with because they are so busy. Not only are they busy with discharging people for that day, but they also have a whole roster of individuals that are coming up for discharge, and they bear a very heavy weight. Everyone that's coming into the hospital and that's leaving, they have different needs. Some of them have to be referred out to inpatient rehab. Maybe some are going home with home care or home health, or maybe they're going to hospice. There's so many hats they wear, so many hands in the pots that they have to have going on. So knowing this, knowing the general role of the discharge planners in your local hospitals, think about how you can be a resource to them. Do you know of any particular services that maybe their patients that are pending discharge may need? Do you have the ability to take on a last minute patient that needs to go home on 24-hour home care? Do you have your business systems in place already that if they say, I really need someone, can you help me? Can you get it staffed by X o'clock today? Are you in a situation, is your business in a situation that you would be able to help that hospital discharge planner? Another way you can help where it may not be so intense is, many of the discharge planners, they may be nurses or care managers or case managers, CEUs, they need to stay on top of CEUs like many of us nurses have to stay on top of our CEUs. Learning about those opportunities in the community and sharing those opportunities with those discharge planners, those are all ways that you can be an asset, be a help, get to know and develop that professional relationship to those potential referral sources, which is going to make you shine. You're going to be that person that they're going to say, you know what, I have a non-medical home care need, and I'm going to Dina. She's an amazing person, such a thoughtful, kind person. I'm going in that direction. So keep those things in mind when you're thinking about ways to get to know your referrals. Your goal is to be an asset, be a resource, be a help. Developing a win-win relationship. That's another area that you definitely want to focus on. So your goal needs to be developing a win-win relationship with your referral sources. When you're going in and you're talking with those potential referral sources, you need to make sure your mindset or that of your marketing team, whoever's mindset, the mindset needs to be, what can I do for you? And how can this be mutually beneficial? Not what can you do for me? Everyone has goals. You have goals as a business owner. You want your business to grow. Part of your marketing needs to constantly be, how many clients do we need to come on service for this month? And then break that down to a weekly goal. So you have goals. Assisted living communities, they have goals as well. How many residents do we need to move into the community this month? How many residents can we get in this week? Hospital discharge planners, they have goals. I have to make sure I'm discharging on time. Am I late with discharging? Everybody has a goal. So keep that in mind, but you want to go in with the idea of, how can I help you? What can we do? How can we set this up so that it's a win-win situation? There are a lot of competitors going out there. Again, the mindset is, what can you do for me? I work for ABC Home Care Company, and I have to have these 10 referrals in. I need these 10 clients right now. So I don't care about your day. I don't care about how busy you are. I just need to know, do you have anyone that needs home care? That's a complete turnoff. A complete turnoff. So make sure you're not, focused on that. Of course, it's business. And that's why I say make sure it's mutually beneficial. It's a win-win situation. And you absolutely can create those win-win situations. But make sure your mindset is in the correct place so that your delivery will be appropriate and appealing. So ways to win over your referral sources. Be respectful of their time and their role. Those are two, there's many other ways, but these are two main ways that you can win over your referral sources. And again, I'll give you an example. Me working, again, this time as a business owner for my non-medical home care, I had a vendor come to my office, and I had him wait, and my intention, honestly, was to meet with him and give him a couple minutes of my time, because I was fairly new at that time, and I wanted to be able to learn the who is who and see what his services were and how I could possibly utilize them. But I had phone call after phone call after phone call. And so this gentleman noticed that. And he could have stayed there and just waited me out until the end of the business day. But what he noticed, and in between my call, he said, you know what? You're busy. He said, are you the owner? I said, yes, I'm the owner. He goes, oh my gosh, you have such a heavy load. Let me do this. Let me leave you my business card. Whenever you get an opportunity, if you're interested in our services, this is what we do. Here's a brochure to go with it. If you're interested in our service, shoot me an email, give me a couple dates that work for you, and we can schedule a time. He said, I can even bring you lunch, because I'm sure you don't even get an opportunity to go out for lunch. I'll bring you lunch and we can share a little bit about what I do and how we could possibly work together. Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. That was someone that I remembered, and that is someone that I called back, and that is someone that had my business. He respected my time. He respected my role. So that is who you want to be. There are times where you may walk in just to do a quick stop-by visit, and either no one's available to talk with you, or if they are in their office, they just don't have the time. Be respectful of that. Acknowledge that. Set up another time where you can capture a couple minutes of their time and come back. So people will respect that. If you respect their time. They will appreciate that in you, and you will be someone that they will want to do business with. And ultimately, that is going to lead to you getting referrals from that individual. So you want to keep in mind that this is all about establishing a long-lasting, mutually satisfying relationship. It's a professional relationship that you're establishing. It takes time. So make sure you put your best foot forward each and every time. Don't give up. You may not get a referral the very first visit. That's why I say it's about establishing a long-lasting relationship. It takes time for people to get to know you. I say it all the time. People do business with people they like, know, and trust. And the only way for them to like, know, and trust you is time and being consistent. So that kind of ties in with my last point here on this slide. Do not be eager to enter into a contract. Earn their trust. Get to know them. And this is on a mutual standpoint as well. Even though this may seem a little one-sided, it is on a mutual standpoint. Number one, before you jump into wanting to get into a contract with every company, you want to earn their trust, but you also want to learn to trust them as well. You want them to get to know you, but you want to get to know them as well. A contract is, that's pretty serious. And that's something that all companies would love and want. They want to be that select individual. But you also want to make sure that you're not pairing up with a company that maybe their vision and mission and culture does not align with yours. And let's say this is a assisted living community. If you're providing non-medical home care in that community, even though your services are directly to the resident and the family of the resident is the one paying you, or the resident themselves is paying you, you still have to interact with this community. You still have to communicate with the executive director, the resident care director, or the director of nursing, with the care staff. You have to interact with all these people because it's still their resident. So let's say, you get in there and you're kind of rushing through things and you find a community that's anxious to give you a contract, but then you kind of notice the way they do things. Maybe it's not completely ethical. Maybe it doesn't, jive with the standards that you are developing and that you have in place for your business. So that's why I say don't be eager to jump into a contract situation. You definitely want to be that preferred provider, but get to know the company as well. As you are making sure they get to know you, you want to make sure that you get to know them, because this is your business and you don't want to put yourself in a negative situation where maybe by association you end up in a certain measure of trouble or bad press and bad reputation due to an ill-paired partnership. So keep that in mind. Be their go-to provider. You've probably heard me a couple times use the word resource. Your agency's goal is to become a partner with your referral sources. You want to partner with them. So different from contract. Contract is something on paper. This is partnership. You're a partner. You're that go-to person. When you have a business partner and you have a decision or a question or whatever that you're looking to do within business, you go to your partner. Or if you're in a marriage, we'll utilize something basic like that. Your spouse is your partner and you have some kind of question, thoughts, whatever. You go to your spouse. So it's the same thing within the industry. You want to be that go-to person, that partner. Your goal is really to be that go-to provider, be on that preferred provider list if they have one. That's where you want to be. You want to be a resource of information, be helpful. Again, that resource of information, as I used as an example earlier, for your nurses, your caseworkers, your case managers, excuse me, your social workers, if they're CEUs or some kind of events that they could utilize, definitely be that source of information. Say, hey, I thought about you when I saw this. I just wanted to share this with you. That's a great opportunity for you to go into the community, and you're not selling anything. You're there to be a resource, to be a help, and you're present. You're keeping your business, your company on the top of their mind. They're seeing you often, and it's not always for a nagging sale call. And just to clarify, some of your calls will be a sales call. This is a business, so I'm not saying to never go in there for a sales call. And that'll be another training, another time where we'll talk about how to appropriately do sales calls. But just in general, when you're going in to just stop by and say hi and, see what's going on, the lay of the land, make sure it's with a purpose, and being a resource of information is a great purpose. If you have a physician, maybe there's an article about some changes in Medicare or certain new technology that might benefit his practice. Share that information. Again, it's all about being helpful, being a resource of information. Be low maintenance. No one wants to deal with a high maintenance individual, period. But especially when it's your goal to develop a relationship and to get more referrals, the last thing you want to do is be high maintenance. So you want to be low maintenance. Your referral process, you want to make sure that is as easy and accommodating as possible. Those are all ways you could be low maintenance. When you're engaging with individuals, let's say at community events, don't be that high maintenance individual. Attention needs to be on me. Be a low maintenance individual. Those are people that gravitate. They have people gravitate to them. You're low maintenance. You're easy. You go with the flow. You don't get flustered easily. Low maintenance, calm, collect. That's who you want to be. That's how you, as an owner and a leader, you want to represent your company. And that's how you want your entire team to be as well. So you want to give information that they are ready to hear about. And that is relevant to them. So there may be companies that maybe you offer various types of service. There are abilities, maybe you provide home care services to adults and to pediatrics. So you would want to make sure that your marketing delivery and your marketing material that you leave for assisted living is going to be appropriate for what they need to hear and they're ready to hear. So you don't want to have your pediatric services necessarily involved on every marketing material. It's not relevant, and it's not something that they're ready to hear, and it's nothing but a time waster. So make sure you're giving information that they're ready to hear and that they need to hear. Pay attention to their surroundings and see how you can be of help. So let's say you have an appointment at a doctor's office to speak with the clinical manager, and you notice the phones are ringing, everybody's kind of scrambling over, and it's crazy. So you get back there with the clinical manager, and maybe you say, hey, I noticed you guys we're having a busy morning, kind of hectic. What's going on? And maybe they're short-staffed. Oh my God, the receptionist just quit last night. We didn't have time to replace anyone. Oh my gosh, what can you do to help? You just determine, okay, there's a need. Do you know someone that maybe you can refer to them to help fill that need? That's that's ways that you are paying attention to your surroundings and you can be of help. Now, is this going to be in every situation? No. But it is important in every situation to pay attention to your surroundings. Because again, if you're there for an appointment and you notice that things are just crazy, they're hectic, they're busy, this goes back to being respectful of their time. And if you need to reschedule, be sensitive to that and do that. And they will appreciate that. And that will, again, make you shine and stand out from your competitors and be that person that they would want to go to when they have a need for your services. So you want to market with client leads in mind. So that may sound like I'm contradicting myself because I said make sure you have a certain mindset. And this is where training and coaching comes into play. And I'm talking to you all as business owners, aspiring potential business owners. Yes, you want to make sure you have a win-win mentality. It's mutually beneficial. But on the business standpoint, your goal ultimately is to be strategic and market with client leads in mind. So one of the greatest ways you can do that is you want to have a well-prepared marketing package for your referrals. And that needs to include the services you provide in moderate detail. You do not want to give them a 50-page booklet of all the services you provide and how you do it and what you do. You want to hit the bullet points, but provide a little detail. So they need to know, what do you do? What are your services? Service area. What's your territory? What cities, counties? Where do you provide service? That is a big deal as well. Also, and this may be a point that maybe you've considered or maybe you haven't, but another important point is, how do you treat your clients and your employees? What is your culture? People want to know this. Do you value your employees? Do you take the time to invest in them, invest in their training and their empowerment as your employees? How do you treat your clients? And I put that all in the same line because they're equal. You know, client care and employee care, that's equal. A lot of people may feel, well, my clients come first. And your clients should be a high priority. But if you don't make your employees a high priority, ultimately you're not making your clients a high priority either. Because if you have unhappy, ill-trained employees, how are they going to be able to provide exceptional client care? They're just not going to be able to. And ultimately, that is going to be your fault for not investing in your clients and in your employees. And that's going to automatically develop into a very negative, ugly culture. And one thing I will tell you, unhappy clients and unhappy employees, they sing like canaries. They will tell you all about their negative experiences with a caregiver, if it's a client, how, oh, she had an attitude, oh, I hate this company, they're the worst. They're always sending my invoices all crazy. I can't even pay them on time. When I call and try to talk to the owner, I can't reach anyone. Or your employees, on the other hand, oh my gosh, I hate working for this company. The last thing you want your employee to do is go to an assisted living community and say, are you guys hiring? This company, home care company I'm working for, I can't stand it. They don't pay me on time. I don't get any training. They don't communicate anything to me. They just schedule me. I don't even know until the last minute that I'm scheduled. Those are real life complaints. They're real life complaints. I have heard these complaints when I was working in assisted living. I've heard these conversations. You don't want to be that company that your clients, your employees, all they have is negative. And so referral sources want to know, because who they refer you, that has something to do with their professional Reputation. Oh my gosh, this hospital case manager, discharge planner, she referred me to this home care company and they're terrible. You don't want that. So you will see referral sources ask, well, tell me a little bit about your employees, or, how do you train, how do you vet your employees before you hire them? You will see those questions be asked. So be ready for that. Have that somewhere in your marketing material. They also want to know, are you trustworthy? So another area that we'll talk about in our marketing series will be surveys, quality assurance surveys, as far as your client satisfaction and also employee satisfaction. Those are excellent ways to know if you have any opportunities for growth within your company and what you can do better. There are certain things that you may not be able to do. You want to make sure as a company, when you're looking at compensating your employees, are you providing them with a competitive salary? Everybody would love to make more money. You want to make sure your salary is fair and it's competitive. But you have to be realistic. You can't pay them the sun and the moon as much as you would love to. You have to be realistic. So you may hear, I would love to have more money, but are there other areas that you can enhance when it comes down to employee satisfaction? Training. Again, you're going to hear me talk a lot about training because it is so important. Are you training your staff? You need to, on minimum, be holding a monthly training. What is your onboarding process like for orientation? Client satisfaction. You need to have in your home care company, and some states require this. I know my home state of Georgia, it's a requirement. You must have supervisory visits conducted. But if you are planning to open a business in a state that is not regulated, having a supervisory visit process in place is going to be extremely beneficial for you. You want to know, is your caregiver coming to the client's home on time? Are they dressed appropriately? Are they respectful? Are they on the cell phone? Are they eating clients' food? What's going on? So you want to have some form of quality assurance tools in place, and that's one way that you can show you're trustworthy, that you being transparent. Also, in your practices, when you're marketing, and this kind of goes back to you being an owner and also your leadership team, are you a trustworthy company, or do you believe in maybe bribing people to provide you with referrals? What are your ethics? What is your culture? And a lot of people, when they're opening a small business, they don't think about this. They figure, well, I'm just a small business. But these are things that if you are looking to build a strong business, a successful business, even if it's just you running your non-medical home care out of the comforts of your kitchen table, you want to take these things into consideration now. What's the culture? What's your vision? What's your mission? Are you trustworthy? What are your morals and your ethics? What do you want to present to the community as a business? So you want to build that trust. Be a company of your word. Another thing that you need to have in your referral package, team bios. And team bios means your key leadership team. So you want to, of course, you as the owner, you want to have a little blurb about you, who you are, maybe any kind of licensure or certifications or history and exposure to the industry, something to tell and explain your why as to why you are in this business, why you decided to create this business. You want to also have your, if you have a director of nursing or a director of care, client care, something about that individual. Or if that person is you, you want to tie that in your bio as well, that you are over not only the business operations, but you oversee the client care measures as well. Your marketing individual, you want to make sure whoever's marketing, there's a bio about them. That's very important because they are also going to be the face of your business. As your business grows and you as an owner, you're going to have many, many things to oversee and to do. So you won't always be the primary person to do marketing. You're going to have someone that will market your business for you. And you want to make sure that they're included in the team bios as well. And it's always nice to have a bio of whoever your office manager is. Who is the person that they would be talking to on a regular basis? You know, who's that person that you're going to be delegating phone calls and certain client tasks and employee tasks to? Who is that person? Let those individuals, your referral sources, get to know that person as well. You also want to touch on caregiver training. I can't specify it enough. You know, let them know how you train your staff. If you have, let them know you have an orientation process that they go through where they learn about your company's vision and mission and purpose. Ongoing trainings, that's very important. If you have a program, a service that you're marketing, let's say it's to a memory care community, and you have staff that you want to, you know, partner with this community, you want to establish that relationship. Is your non-medical home care caregivers, are they trained in how to deal with those that have some form of dementia? Do they know about validating behaviors, about redirecting, about joining that individual's journey that has dementia? Or are you going to have a caregiver come in and they have a 90-year-old individual they're providing care for that is adamant about going and picking up their children from daycare? Is your caregiver going to tell them, you don't have any kids in daycare, you're 90 years old? That's going to be devastating. That's going to cause that resident to become extremely agitated, which can disrupt the whole memory care neighborhood and cause chaos for the community staff, because now they have all these residents, everybody's up in an uproar. Do you think that is going to show a good first impression to your company? No. So you want to make sure you communicate that your staff, they're trained, they can handle the task, they can handle the job. They want to know. You also want to share a little bit about who you are as a company. Again, this is your time to, you know, brag and tell them about your why. Who are you? Why are you in the non-medical home care business? This is your time to share that with them. And any special services that you provide. Again, if you have, maybe you have post-surgical care, diabetic care, Alzheimer's, dementia care, all of those are specialized services that you can provide within your non-medical home care company. You can be very creative. Think about how you can, you know, display that in your marketing material, but it's very important that they know you have those services and that's a niche that you provide. So again, when you're marketing, you want to market and have a purpose for your visits. We touched on that. Another way to market is to sponsor community events in the industry. So, you know, there are many awesome ways that you can partner. Maybe you can be a guest speaker, or you can create opportunities for maybe Alzheimer's, a support group, and you can sponsor that. Maybe you can bring in snacks and have a couple minutes to talk about your business. Maybe you can sponsor a networking event with industry professionals, including your competitors. That's a way you can sponsor and be known as an individual, someone to be of notice in the community. Find a need in your community to service others. Open the door to community opportunities. Be a leader, be an innovator, create opportunities. If there's not something there, if you live in an area and they don't have networking events, or maybe they don't have a lot of networking events, think about how you can partner with someone. And this goes with my next point, create valuable partnerships. How can you partner with someone and develop a new networking opportunity where you can gather all the professionals together? Be a leader. You want to be known as an industry leader. Even though your business may be small in the beginning, that doesn't mean you can't be an industry leader. Offer lunch and learns. You're going to hear me talk a lot about lunch and learns. Those are great ways for you to capture the attention while they're eating some good lunch. Again, it does not need to be anything expensive, but you have their attention for a select amount of time, and this is your chance. And this is your opportunity to go in and brag about how wonderful you are. I did a video, a marketing series on Lunch and Learn. If you have not seen that, please do. You want to be doing Lunch and Learns on a weekly basis. And again, if you need some help with Lunch and Learn, schedule a time and we can talk about how you can incorporate Lunch and Learns into your business. If you are not doing Lunch and Learns on a weekly basis, your business is not going to grow. Last but not least, you want to value your frontline team. So we've talked about your employees, but you really truly want to value them. You know, staffing and retaining staff can be very challenging, but if you value your team, you know, that's very attractive to not only your staff, but it's attractive to your referral sources as well. And they're going to want those individuals to be the ones to provide care for their clients. So this is the end of this. If you have any questions about this marketing series or any other senior care business questions, I am Dina Shepard with Altera Consulting. You have my number here, email address, website. If you're not following us already on Facebook, please make sure you are following us. I hope you found value in this. Again, these are all steps and opportunities for you to be able to make sure your business is generating clients the right way, that you're setting up long-term relationships to have those continuous client referrals coming in. So that is what this is all about. Replay if you need to. Share and like. I appreciate if you definitely share. You found value in this. If you have any questions now, I'm going to open this up to questions. We went a little over the allotted time, but I wanted to make sure you all got the information you needed. So if you have any questions, I'm going to be on here a couple minutes. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate it. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Yes, LaRonda, I can absolutely send you the PowerPoint. If you want to send me your email address, I can email you this PowerPoint, and then also the presentation itself will be available to you. But yes, I can send you that PowerPoint, not a problem. Any other questions? If you don't have any and any questions pop up, please feel free to inbox me, or you can post on the wall at Altera Consulting, and I will definitely answer those questions. Yes, I will send that to you as well, Rena. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. And that to you. Anyone that is interested in receiving the PowerPoint, just send me your email address with the word PowerPoint so I can remember, and I will definitely send that to you so you guys can refer to it as you need to. All right, Leslie and Sheila, yep, I can get that to you. Just send me that email address. All right, ladies and gentlemen, if there are any gentlemen with us this evening, this will be it for this presentation, and I will be scheduling another marketing series for the end of December, so look out for that, and I hope you join me there as well. Thank you, Alicia. I appreciate it. You're very welcome. You all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the week, wonderful evening. And if you have any questions, again, I am available to answer those questions for you. You're welcome. Have a good one, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.